everyone. I'm very glad to be presenting today at the MediaX Symposium representing Fujitsu Research. Thank you for the opportunity. So here's a quick outline of this talk. First, I will motivate the topic of this presentation by highlighting the need for AI ethics. Then I'll briefly discuss about reflexive design, which can serve as an efficient feedback mechanism for enhancing AI ethics. The bulk of this presentation is about the potential of generative artworks in providing feedback to AI scientists by educating them about the potential pitfalls. And in particular, I will outline 4 different ways in which generative artworks could be leveraged for this cause. So with that, let me get started. As we know, AI technologies are being used across a variety of critical applications, be it in healthcare, judiciary, hiring, finance, and so on. And amidst this widespread prevalence, there are also rising concerns about the biases that can be associated with these AI systems. As the illustrations on this slide show, commercial face recognition systems show discrimination against darker skinned females. Similar trend was observed in major healthcare risk assessment algorithms in a study that was published in Science a couple of years ago. On the left bottom, you see an illustration of an AI-based job ad recommendation that shows jobs like nurses and secretaries for females, whereas jobs like doctors are shown for men. So clearly, discrimination based on gender, race, and other sensitive attributes can adversely affect individuals and society. And naturally, as a consequence, a lot of efforts have been undertaken across a variety of communities, be it the industry, academia, or regulatory or government bodies, to enforce ethical constraints in the design of AI systems. And several such mechanisms are there. One is to provide explanations or justifications of AI decisions. And this falls under the broad umbrella of explainable AI or transparent AI, as they call. There are also mechanisms whereby end users or those impacted by the AI decisions can seek remedies, or this facilitates redress. There are also mechanisms to robustly audit the AI pipelines or suggest actionable recourses. So underlying all of these is a fundamental concept of feedback, wherein the feedback of the end users and other stakeholders impacted by the AI decisions are provided to the AI system, and the AI system also provides feedback in terms of these various things outlined. And within Fujitsu research as well, we have this vision of trusted trusted AI, wherein we not only take into account these technical aspects outlined in these slides, but also the broader socio-cultural context surrounding the problem, the legal aspects entailing the problem, and so that we can have a multi-dimensional narrative to address the larger causes of the problem. And more about our technology and service vision can be found in this link listed below. So designing ethical AI system is not an easy task. It has several challenges. And one of the major challenges in the design of ethical AI systems is the fact that there are various stakeholders in the AI pipeline, each with their own set of requirements, roles, and responsibilities. For example, AI scientists tend to focus on performance or accuracy of the model, whereas the end user may not care that much for the accuracy of the model. They may be more interested in understanding how a decision was made and how they can seek remedies if they were adversely impacted by the decision. So there are these different and diverse requirements as one can visualize. And it is in this context that reflexive design, whereby AI scientists who are involved in the design of formal models can understand their roles in a relational context with respect to other stakeholders. Such an introspection can potentially help in better problem formulation and thereby mitigate bias. Again, this is not the only way, and this does not always guarantee that it solves the problem, but nevertheless, it can offer some valuable insights. And what exactly we mean by reflexive design and how that can be done will be clear in the subsequent slides. Now, in order to enforce reflexive design and facilitate critical thinking in the minds of AI scientists, we believe generative artworks can be quite useful. Now, before understanding how and why, let's see what generative artwork in fact means. Generative artwork refers to art that in part or in whole has been created by an autonomous system. By autonomous, we mean any non-human system, And for the purpose of this talk, we will assume AI-based art or generative art. Now, coming to the question of why generative art for reflexive design. Now, as the adage goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And the visuals have a lot of power in them. They transcend language barriers. They trigger critical thinking in the minds of the observer. They provide a common language and communicate complex concepts in a simple manner. And they leave lasting impacts in the minds of the observer. And so for these purposes, visualizations in general can trigger a lot more value than text or other means of communication. And so that's why we believe generative artworks could be helpful in instilling this reflexive design thinking in AI scientists. Specifically, we believe that generative artworks could educate AI scientists about the potential pitfalls, existing gaps in the AI pipeline, and also inform about the broader socio-cultural context surrounding a problem. And in the subsequent slides, we will look at these briefly. So the first way in which we envision generative artworks could address this cause is by help in visualizing various ethical perspectives. Now, there are different ethical theories, and ethical theories have been long studied and shown to be important in decision making. And there are different principles underlying each and every ethical theory. For example, in deontological ethics, the emphasis is on rules and regulations. For example, if you think of a construct like fairness, there are different rules like enforcing statistical parity or equalized odds, equality of opportunity, and so on. In another ethical theory called utilitarianism, the goal is to maximize the well-being of all the stakeholders involved. And here the emphasis is not on rules, but to ensure that all stakeholders' requirements are met. So clearly, within the same problem context, as you can see, based on what ethical theory you are looking at, viewing at, there can be different viewpoints for the same problem. And it is in this regard, generative artworks can be quite helpful. For example, using generative artworks, it might be possible to bring to light the adverse consequences of an AI decision, a perspective outlined in consequentialism ethics. And this need not be the actual path that leads to that decision, but it could even be a counterfactual situation, as we will see later. The second way in which generative artworks could be helpful in educating AI scientists is by visualizing the gaps in the AI pipeline. Now, for example, consider a construct like fairness, right? It's pretty abstract and it is also highly contested. Depending on the culture, geography, there can be different notions of fairness. So what is fair in one geography need not be fair in another geography. But in any computational system, it always involves quantifying these abstract concepts, right? We operationalize notions like fairness through formulations like parity, statistical parity, or equalized odds, and so on. But in doing so, the broader aspects of fairness are not necessarily covered. So for example, in statistical parity, notions like procedural justice or restorative justice is not considered. Similarly, while measuring the fairness, there can be gaps. For example, in a hiring situation, if you just enforce equal selection rates across different groups, it doesn't necessarily take into account historical injustice. For example, different people may come from different economic backgrounds, and that is not necessarily considered in just merely enforcing equal selection rates. So we can see that there are these gaps between constructs, operationalization, and measurement. And such gaps can be highlighted using visuals. For example, a generative artwork could showcase how a particular stakeholder, an end user, might have been impacted or their own background, the life's bias on their current state. So that will help in bringing to light perspectives which would have not been otherwise understood by these AI scientists. A third way in which generative artworks could be potentially helpful is in aiding understanding counterfactual situations and potential outcomes. So what do we mean by this? Let's consider an example of AI-based loan decision. Suppose somebody was denied a loan, right? And so that is the actual decision of the AI system, let's assume. Now, by showcasing how this person's or individual's situation would have been different or better had they been given a loan. Now, remember, they were denied a loan. And we are looking now at a counterfactual situation that doesn't exist in the real world. But by showcasing such counterfactuals, it is possible to bring to the knowledge of AI scientists how badly this decision affects that individual. And it's not just about the adverse consequences. We could also showcase positive effects in the context of favorable decision. And this is also related to subjectivism ethics and consequential ethics that we saw earlier. And finally, we believe generative artworks could also help in visualizing non-Western perspectives. Now, most AI systems are influenced by Western philosophies, not only in their formulations, but also axis of discrimination and implementation. For example, attributes like race and gender have little relevance in Eastern countries. For example, in India, economic inequality, caste, and other things are more important than, say, race. So depending on the geography, there can be different notions like even based on the everyday aspects of life, like furniture, dress, food. These things are also completely different based on the geographies. And by using generative artworks, it is possible to bring these diverse perspectives into the AI's horizon. And this particular image is actually a set of images generated by GANs, generative adversarial networks or AI models, that shows how this concept, abstract concept of peace, PEAC, peace, was visualized across different geographies. And this brought together people who wouldn't have connected otherwise. And this is a work from Devi Parikh, with whom I worked in this project as well. So for more information on this, you can refer to these two papers. And if you want to reach us, you can reach us here. And that's it. Thank you again.